Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about the best and worst ways to practice your 3x3 solving. So first of all, this 3-blind logo stands for blindfolded inspection, which is kind of a weird name, but basically you scramble the cube, you inspect for 15 seconds, you close your eyes, and you solve as much of the cube as you can. And I think this is a really good way to improve the efficiency of your inspection and improve the consistency of your planned solutions. So I think this is an A-tier practice method. It's very worth your time. Now, this cover of a JPEG video basically means learning new algorithms, and I think that this can be an absolute S-tier method, but it can also be really bad. So let's say you're averaging 35 and you know full CFOP, you have really bad recognition times, and you struggle to execute each OLL and PLL, but you try to learn ZB. Now this is gonna go really bad, but if you're averaging, let's say, 7 seconds and you've pretty much perfected CFOP, then yeah, you should absolutely learn ZBLL. So if it's used in the right way, it's S tier, but if it's used in a bad way, it's D tier. So this is kind of hard, so I'll just chuck it in. I'll chuck it in B. Now, this clock with an X basically stands for untimed solving. And I think this is one of the best ways you can improve. Because when you're untimed, obviously you don't care how fast you are, you don't know. So during F2L, you can experiment with stuff, you can try new algorithms, and I think that's one of the best ways you improve, and you start turning slower, that improves your look ahead. So I reckon this is one of the best ways to improve your 3x3. Now, this TPERM here basically stands for two-sided PLL recognition, which is where you go into an algorithm trainer, you do the scramble, and then you cover two sides. You try and recognize the PLL from just two sides of the cube. And this really helps with your PLL recognition, obviously, and that's very important. I found it is actually very effective at giving you better recognition times and speeding up your PLL, so I'll put this in A2. Now, this, I don't know if it really has a name, it's kind of a niche way to practice, but basically you solve the cross, and then you'll have you find two unsolved pairs, and you try and plan them both and execute them as fast as possible with your eyes closed. And I think this is super good. It kind of teaches you how pieces move around the cube. I don't think it's S tier, but I think it definitely belongs in A. And then this kind of snail with the clock stands for slow turning, which is it's slow turning. You just turn really slow, and this really helps with your look ahead, which is one of the most important aspects of speed cubing. So it's pretty obviously goes in S tier. That's one of the best ways to practice. Now this kind of JPERM here stands for PLL practice. So just drilling your PLLs, recognition and execution through an algorithm trainer like solved.no or jperm.net. And I think this is really good. It's not as good as two-sided recognition, but it is also very boring. So it could be C, but if you like really dedicated, then I think it can be B if you don't get bored. And this metronome stands for metronome practice. And if you've tried metronome practice or you've heard faster solvers talking about it, you know that it is really, really bad. Because basically what it is you get a cube and a metronome probably on your phone, and you set it to whatever beats per minute, and you turn in time with those beats. Now this sounds pretty good. It sounds like you kind of slowly work your way better and better look ahead, but the reason it's bad is 3x3 solves should be fluid. They shouldn't be robotic. with equal amount of time between each turn. That's not how they should be. And that's why this is just so bad. I put it in D tier. It's not worth your time. And the final one is just a timer here. This just stands for normal solving. Now, the thing about just normal solving is if you have lots of good habits, you've learned a lot of new algorithms, and you don't do super inefficient F2L, then it's going to be S or A. But if you have a very inefficient F2L, or you don't know many algorithms, then it's going to be really bad. So depending on how you use it, it could be S, it could be D, but it can be very useful, and it is very fun, so I'll put it in A. That's all from me, guys. If you want to see more, please subscribe. Thank you and goodbye.